O'Brien.
Good afternoon, folks. This is Steve Rhodes filling in for Tommy O'Brien, doing the Tom O'Brien Show. Welcome. Happy February the 2nd out there. We begin our day here with a rally in the equities. You got all the U.S. indices are trading to the upside. You got the Dow up 576, S&P up 46 points, 221 for the NASDAQ 100. The Russell up 35. Trend is up 523. Semis up 150. NASDAQ Composites up 160. New York Stock Exchange 170. Gold's off $52 with silver being up $1.70. Light sweet crude is off $3. That's nearly a 5% move. $1, about a 25% move in the case of natural gas. 30-year Treasury down 14 ticks, print out 114.22. Our leaders in the clubhouse this afternoon to the upside. Booking Holdings $115, 2.5%. SanDisk $80, 14%. Monolithic Power Systems $42, nearly 4%. Lumenthum up $36, 9%. Saia, the freight company, $33. That's a 10% move. To the downside, it's Phoenix Asia Holdings off $113, 85% move. Yikes. IDEX Laboratories down 6% or $38. Cavco Industries $31, 6%. VSE $23, 10% out there. So plenty to look at. Of course, I want to look at what you want to look at. And you can always send me an email. Send that off to steve@tfnn.com. In that subject heading, please put radio show question. That'll make it much easier for me to identify your email from someone else's. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and get to these markets and see what, in fact, they are doing. And so let's begin by taking a look at the daily equity future. Well, let's do this here. Let's take a look at the position of the spot VIX in the New York Stock Exchange, the advanced decline oscillator. So the advanced decline oscillator is the difference between the 19 and the 39 period exponential moving average of the advanced decline line. On my screen here that you're looking at, the advanced decline line is panel number 2 from the top. You can see a green arrow. That green arrow has a advanced decline line number of 608,289. We're at 608,083. Now, that was made when back on January the 22nd, so 2 weeks ago. So very strong market breadth. If we close at a new all-time high and you are in the camp thinking that there's somehow going to be a significant move to the downside for the S&P 500, you're nuts. It doesn't happen. It doesn't work like that. It's really important, we don't spend a ton of time taking a look at the advanced decline line and what the meaning is when it's at an all-time high. And that's really something that you should understand out there. The advanced decline line, if we take a look at the difference between this 39 and 19 period exponential moving average, that creates an oscillator. That's what is below it. That is panel number 3 to the downside, panel number 2 to the upside. When that indicator is above the zero threshold level, right now it's at 3.5, 3.49 or so, then buyers are the ones that are presumed to have an edge. We closed above it on Thursday. We closed below it on Friday. We're just oscillating back and forth on the oscillator and change line. Nonetheless, we closed back above 359. It tells us that buyers were the ones that always had control. The spot VIX index is another tool that we use, and there we take a look at how the spot VIX index is trading in relationship to its 50-day exponential moving average. That is the bottom left-hand panel. What you can see here is the 50-day exponential moving average is printing at 1650. The spot VIX, on the other hand, printing at 1628. So close below 1650 on the spot VIX, an advanced decline oscillator that closes above zero. Those are both bullish conditions and provide buyers with an edge. But just because they have an edge, does it mean that markets are going to rally? No, it doesn't. And that means that we've got to take a look and see what else is going on. So here we switch over to the daily equity future contracts. You'll see A to B equals CD patterns on all 4 of these instruments, the ES, the NQ, the Dow, the YM, and the Russell 2000, the RTY. You'll also see that early this morning, about 1, 2 o'clock, we had the ES Mini pull back and test a trend line. That's that black diagonal line. The NQ did the same thing. It found support. So if I were you, I would put that trend line on my system because their price closes below that. That's telling us something else. Now, that something else might be some other profile that price would get down to. And speaking of profiles, we have the NQ form a new daily profile. It is a bullish structured profile. And here, price is trading above its oscillator and change line. The oscillator and change line is printing out at 25,858-ish. That number will move up and down as price moves up and down. But here's the deal. If we close above that green oscillator and change line, it increases the odds substantially that price will make a run for the 26,084 level. That happens to be the top of its profile. This profile formed above the prior profile. That is a bullish signal out there. In fact, the last profile formed above the prior profile. The markets lose the thought process that we're going to see some substantial move to the downside. If we take a look at the Dow equity future contract. You can see it's got a wave number 7. That's a letter G top out there. Right now, price is trading. So what the Dow equity future contract has done is it pulled back to the levels where a counter trend move to the downside would find support. And that happens to be at the 48,702 level. What did we do last night? What did we do on Friday? We tested those areas. But what we're doing right now, and it doesn't matter at 3:12, it matters at 5 p.m., when everything is settled, where does price close? If the YM is trading above or closes above 49,524, it's telling you it's ready to go take out that wave number 7 top and make its way up to that A to B equals CD pattern to the upside. The Russell 2000 does not have any kind of a topping pattern. It's got an A to B equals C to the upside. Price just consolidating with inside its profile, 2613 to 2692. If we go take a look at, let's get the other charts, black background screen up on our screen right now. Come on. What's the deal? Okay. So one thing I pointed this out this morning, it's really important to understand, especially this time of year, where we're trading in relationship to the 2025 high. Well, in the case of the Dow, we are trading above it. When you trade above the high of any instrument from the prior year, you are in a bullish mode. You are in a bullish breakout mode. So what you want to watch here inside the Dow cash index is the 48,886 level. But because we're trading above it, what we just looked at on the Dow equity future contract, if you get those closes above the green oscillator and change line out there, that also increased the odds that we're going to go ahead and see that rally to higher price. The S&P 500 is at 69.82. It's 40 points above the 2025 high. So it too is ready to rally. The NQ needs a close above 26,182.10 to join them. The DAX, if we go take a look at what's going on internationally, its 2025 high was 24,771. We closed at 24,797. That is in a bullish breakout mode. And take a look at the FTSE out there. The FTSE actually closing at a new all-time high, closing at its highs, closing above the 2025 highs out there. What, you think we're going to have some kind of major bearish market in the U.S. and that the international markets are not going to participate and be in that? Yeah, I don't think so. Take a look at the semiconductor index. We are trading well above its 2025 high out there. Not so much for the Shanghai just yet, not for the Hang Seng. And the Nikkei closed at 52,636. We closed last night at 52,655. It too is poised to rally. See Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.